Did I ever had no words to answer? Of course, when there is beauty, when there is a wonderful rising of the sun, then I have no words. Or when I feel the genuine connection with someone, I can just look at the other person and just feel, nice. This is just a nice moment. I call it small moments of huge happiness. Well, I'm Frederick. I'm 46 years old, and today I work as a communication coach and a speaker. I give keynote speeches in Belgium and around the world. And actually, before I was an actor, I have played in various TV series and theatre pieces. I was not really that talented, and I was much more interested in how people communicate with one another, and I wanted to bring an extra message, and that's the reason I shifted from acting to giving presentations and workshops. As an actor, you pretend to be someone, to be something. I used even to play objects like a basketball ring or a pair of jeans. And actually, as a communication coach, I can help people in their real life maybe to stop playing and to be more genuine themselves and to be able to communicate better with other people by, for example, describing what they feel. For so many people, it's so new to tell what is inside of them. If I ask them, how are you? They say, well, I'm okay. Okay. Is this your life? Are you okay? What do you feel? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel restrained? Do you feel a bit puzzled? And what are your needs? Needs? I have no idea. What do you need from me? I need coffee. Yeah, but what is your real need? It's so difficult for some people. For example, I want to be listened to. I want to be understood. I want to be valued. I would like to be taken into account. Well, that is an iMessage that will truly connect because I reveal myself. And I love that. I'm truly convinced that every human being, let's start with myself, is responsible for what they feel themselves. No one can make you feel anything. People can do something and it makes you feel something, but that makes you feel something is an internal process. It's not the external reality that makes you feel what you feel. It's the internal theatricality that makes you feel what you feel. So if I have a problem with taking something personally, I also must take my responsibility. If you tell me something and I take it personally, then I might think that you caused my problem. No, because I said I have a problem. So when I have a problem with what you say, I must take responsibility for this. And I must dig into myself. Ooh, why do these words hurt me? And there are two possibilities for this. Or I focus on your needs. Why did you say what you said? Out of which unfulfilled need? Oh yeah, he just was blaming me because he was angry and he wanted to be understood. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I no longer take it personally. But if that doesn't work, then again, it shows that the problem is truly in myself. And to me, this pain I feel is actually the pain that I have lived various times before in my life that is again evoked. There is again that same need of me that has not been fulfilled so many times in my life that is triggered again. And instead of pointing at you like, hey, you cannot say this to me, I should be aware that maybe while I'm pointing with one finger to you, there are three fingers pointing at myself. I should look at myself and question myself, what's going on inside me? If I think he's not allowed, then I will feel resistance and I will feel anger. If I just look at it from another perspective, he just told me that I was a jerk. Okay. When I look at it from a neutral stance, then I would say, okay, I would be curious. I would ask, why did you call me a jerk? Because I don't see myself as a jerk, but maybe you have reasons to call me a jerk. I don't know. What are the reasons? And so again, if you take responsibility for it, and you do not want to punish the other person for what he did, there's a bigger chance of connection because the other one will understand that you're curious. It's more inviting than when I blame you. You cannot say what you said to me. You're not allowed to do that. And then we are in our ego. The most magnificent result I had with people in communication is in the domain of public speaking. I train people to improve their communication and the impact they have when they speak in front of a group. And a lot of people are afraid to speak in front of a group. And however, I can teach them so many things, techniques like eye contact and using your hands, mimicry, pauses. But it's not about that. It's about what you think about all this. When I look at you and you're in my audience and I think, oh gosh, I cannot make any mistake. Oh, you're looking at me, you're judging me, yeah, I see that you're judging me. You have power over me. You see what happens with my body language. I start to fidget, I start to do very weird. If on the contrary, I believe, hey, you ask me to give a presentation here, I look at you, and I really believe that you're willing to listen, at least if I respect you and I go into connection with you. Yeah. And you're not judging me. No, you're just looking at me, and I try to have you on board. I try to capture your attention. Yeah, good. And I'm quite sure you will be interested. If I think all this, then the path to real connection and to have impact in front of a group is just open. Have you ever thought about the fact that if you speak, at that moment you're not listening? And if you speak, in 99% of the cases, you say something that you already know. So it's only when you listen where you will learn something new. On top of that, a lot of people are only talking to repeat the same thoughts over and over again, to confirm their older ideas and to give them a new place in the here and now. So if you really want to learn something about the other person or about yourself, listening to the other person, you should shut up. Because why do we have 2 ears and just 1 mouth? To listen twice as much than we speak.